All right, Coach, we're going to start with Cameron Cox with 12 News.
Coach, you've always said your team's motto is to be relentless. How proud are you the way they were able to hold on in that fourth quarter, and what's it like to be one win away from playing for an NBA title?
Well, it's something we've tried to rely on all season long, is just having an attitude of not giving in and being relentless in a number of areas. But our poise was tested tonight, and I thought we fared well responding to their third quarter. When we couldn't score and ball was going in and out, we were able to get enough stops. And I thought it was a great response to the talk we had yesterday about competing. We competed at the highest level that I've seen from us all season long, especially on the defensive end. And, we just have to, have a great deal of balance with our emotions and handle this the right way. Not get too far ahead. Yes, we are one win away from where we want to go, but we got to look at the film, prepare even better, and step by step pound the rock over the next couple of days so that we can be better when we play this team again, because we know we're going to see a desperate team.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, and then Dave Mcminiman.
Coach, you said that it's hard to win in this league. Would that be epitome of that tonight?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, playing a team like that in front of a crowd like that, and constantly seeing your shots go in and out, in and out, in and out. That was, a testament to the character and integrity and toughness of our guys. Every time out, it was all about defense. Nobody was talking about anything from the offensive side, nor should we, because we couldn't score. We just couldn't put it in the hole. And I thought DeAndre's presence, his effort, the rebounding, shot blocking, his communication on defense, switching out on smaller guys and being able to guard them. He was the catalyst tonight on the defensive end. I thought it was an unreal performance from him, and our guys rallied around him. And then the execution down the stretch to be able to, foul when we needed to and box out and, hit the free throws necessary to win the game. It's all the stuff you work on all season long. A lot of it paid off tonight, especially when you couldn't score the ball. But that was a slugfest. That's what playoff basketball is all about. So I'm just proud of our team, but also in the mode of, getting our minds right and preparing for a tough game, because we know that's what it's going to be.
When did you decide, Coach, that we're going to foul him? At what point do you think?
Well, I think the analytics, there's different pieces of data that we've read. Some people say 7, some say 11. I think when you have Chris and Book, who can knock down free throws, and Jay as an inbounder, when you can execute and get the ball in bounds, we decided to do it a lot further out from a time perspective. So I think we started at about 17, if I'm not mistaken. And we just trust Chris and Devin in those moments. And in that moment, it was Chris pretty much going to get the ball and understanding that he can't give them a jump ball, and you have to go to the ball. And then Jay being able to put the ball on the button. We just decided to trust Chris with the ball to shoot free throws, and then we just fouled. We didn't want to give them a chance to, get a 3 off.
Next is Dave Mcminiman with ESPN, and then Kellen Olsen.
You guys went up by as many as 16, Clippers cut it to 1,
Yeah.
and they never got over the hump.
Yeah.
How important was that for you? I think when it was 71-70,
Yeah.
both teams combined, it was like 14 or 15.
Yeah, it was unreal, right? It wasn't offense 101 for sure, but the poise, we've been talking about it all season long, understanding that they were going to make that kind of run. We didn't think we were going to miss that many shots, but one of our pillars is defense. I think every NBA team has a pillar that revolves around defense, and tonight it was on display. They missed some shots, but I feel like the pressure over the course of the game. When you compete like that, everybody's tired. And so it wasn't a surprise to me to see that many shots missed. But again, I thought DA's ability to anchor the middle and then his ability to switch out onto guys and guard. There was a skirmish under the basket where the ball was bouncing all over the place, and DA was right in the middle. And I think somebody tried to shoot the ball under the basket and he just swatted it. I thought his fingerprints were all over that side of the ball tonight. And we had a BOB and we ran a pick for him, and Chris throws the ball where nobody else can go get it. DA goes and dunks the ball. Like he was all over the place tonight. That's the kind of player that he can be. He basically won that game for us tonight. He was tremendous.
Next is Kellen Olsen with Arizona Sports, followed by Gina Mazel.
Hey, Monty, in the fourth quarter, when the offensive shots kept going in and out, and then before that, things kind of spiraled a bit. You talk about poise all year.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like a game that's going to come to mind for you now when you think of poise in terms of the way you guys kept defending?
No doubt. I mean, we've been in these situations, but certainly not on this stage where you have a decent lead and all you're thinking is let's just maintain it or increase it. It came out in the third quarter and scored 30 points, and we had a 19. And so at that point, you're just relying on your defense, relying on execution, but you're also relying on the mental stamina that we've been talking about for 2 years. We saw it on display tonight, and every time Chris and I made eye contact, he was like, both of us were like, we're good, that kind of thing. Him more than me, in those situations, but we've been talking about it, and it was just really cool to see our guys put that type of mental stamina on display on the road in a cool environment. Even though it was against you, our guys just stayed the course.
Quickly follow up, you went with Abdul for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
How'd you like what you saw?
I just think we need what he brings to the table. It's a tough spot for him to be in. I thought the drive he had on Kennard from the corner, like that's who he is. That's a tough first game to come back in. But I like the fact that he can guard, he can rebound, he's a big body, he moves his feet. And we think he's going to be able to help us going forward.
Next is Gina Mazel with Suns.com, followed by Mark Schwarz.
Hey, Monty, you kind of just touched on it, but we talk so much about Chris's value in crunch time. And usually you think of making a game-winning shot or dishing a game-winning pass, but just to sink those free throws, to have the poise, all that, it kind of feels like this just captures why you guys wanted him and what he's meant to your group.
I mean, my job's not easy by any stretch, but when you have Chris in those moments, there's a level of trust that we both have. I know he wants the ball. I know he'll go get it. And, not many guys are willing to go up to that line with confidence and knock those free throws down. When he missed the one, I know he wanted to, he was pretty tough on himself. But at that point, I was pretty confident in what we were doing as far as fouling and not allowing them to get off a three. But there's a great deal of trust in those moments. And Book wasn't out there with them. Usually we have both of those guys, and Jay is an inbounder. And Mikal is in the middle, so you have him as a safety. But Chris wants the ball in those situations.
Next is Mark Schwarz with ESPN, followed by Jovan Buha.
Monty, along those same lines, the trust and the eye contact and the knowledge, the connection that you have with a guy who, by his own admission, I couldn't make a damn shot. How did you know that Chris would take care of this when everything was going horribly wrong on the offensive end?
Just done it so many times. He did it when we were in New Orleans. He's done it with us this season when he was with other teams. Like, he was always the guy to go get the ball. So, he's not afraid of those moments. And it's all about winning for Chris. It could have been taking a charge. It just so happened to be a free throw situation. It's something we work on, something we walk through. But, those guys like Chris just want the ball in those situations because they want to win the game. It's not about anything else but winning the game.
Next is Jovan Buha with The Athletic, followed by Greg Moore.
Hey, Monty, you talked about DeAndre's contributions, and I'm curious about the offensive rebounding specifically. He had 9, and then you also had Jay and Mikal, who each had 3. How important was that with how far you guys were shooting and just kind of eating the clock a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to miss that much, you hope to get some of them back, so DA's ability to keep balls in play, without going over the back, like he's one of the best I've ever seen, getting up in the air and reaching over and tipping it to himself. But to your point, to have that many guys or 3 guys get that many offensive rebounds is huge for us. It's something that I was not comfortable with before this season, going to the boards that much. I was always get 3, 4 guys back. Kevin Young has pretty much forced us to do it, and it's really helped us this year, unleashing Mikal and Cam and Jay and Tori has been really good at that this season for us to get us extra possessions. So it was certainly valuable for us tonight with the way we shot the ball.
Final 2 questions are Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic and Gerald Briguet.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you for the time. Greg Moore, Arizona Republic. That 5-minute cold stretch in the fourth quarter where you guys were stuck on 71. So first, I can't remember this group ever being that cold. But do grindhouse games like that, do they favor you all or the Clippers? Are you okay going into a grindhouse defensive affair on Monday?
I'm not sure I'm comfortable with anything other than winning. But I think in those moments, it's not even about comfort level. It's just about winning the game and doing whatever it takes. There was a game, I think, with Brooklyn had a game this year that was in the 70s, 80s. When you have playoff basketball and it's physical and everybody knows your sets, sometimes you're going to have a game like that. I'm just glad we won it. So I'm not quite sure I'm ever comfortable in those situations, but I'm just glad we won it. And to be able to do it on the road is special. To your point, we haven't had games like that this year where we just couldn't put the ball in the basket, but I'm glad when we did have an output like that, we were able to win the game.
Final question is Gerald Briguet with Fansided.
Hey, Coach, kind of related. The 3-point shot hasn't really been falling for you guys for most of this series. Have you been, obviously this game tonight was just a slugfest in that regard, but have you been happy with the quality of shots that you're getting from long range, or is that just a matter of kind of needing to make shots?
They play really good defense on us. When you switch as well as they do, the reason teams switch is to take away the 3-point shot. That's switching. In theory, keeps you out of rotations. Most threes are generated in transition off of pushing the ball or pick and rolls where the big dives, you go help and you give up a 3 in the corner or the wing. So when you switch, you tend to not give up as many threes, and they switch as much as anybody in the league other than Brooklyn. So I think that's part of the deal. They got up more threes than we did tonight, but they probably take more off the dribble threes with Paul and Reggie than most teams. So my hope is that we shoot the ball better the next game, but I hope our defense continues to hold form the way that it did tonight.
All right, Chris, thank you for joining. We're going to start with Cameron Cox with 12 News.
Hey, Chris, congrats on the win. Can you just take us through the emotions of that fourth quarter and what's it like to be 1 win away from playing for an NBA title?
Man, it was a lot. It was a lot. It's emotional. It was loud. Tired. A book filed out. I didn't even realize it. But it's just how our team been all year long. Showing that grit and fighting and staying together.
Next up is going to be Rachel Nichols with ESPN, followed by Ramona Shelburne.
When you look at the difference between winning and losing in a lot of these games, it's so tiny. What do you think it is about your team that when the margin is so razor thin, you guys are getting all those little tiny edges?
Just poise and the togetherness. you know, that ball can bounce either way. And I think a lot of times teams are reflective of their coach. And mine is, you know, oriented all season long. You know, in practice, we watch talking about box outs, talking about end of game situations, and you know, we'll take it. We'll take it tonight.
Next is Ramona Shelburne with ESPN, followed by Dwayne Rankin.
Chris, you know, we always talk about poise with you. I've seen you hit a lot of those free throws in this building over the years. You got back there, eating dinner, I guess. But when I ask people about him, people say he has that same kind of poise too. Have you noticed that coming in this year and throughout the games like this?
No, I knew that. Ain't about noticing that. Watch a lot of basketball, man, and so it's a lot of really good players in our league that don't always get the opportunity to show what they can do. You know what I mean? And I didn't know him Book since before his rookie year, and like we know each other. And when we play against each other, we almost fight, you know, and that's because I know how competitive he is. And that's why I think this has worked, because, you know, there's no ego, you know, from either one of us. At the end of the day, we just want to win.
Next up is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, followed by Dave McMiniman.
Yeah, Chris, played a lot of basketball in your career. Have you ever seen a stretch where neither team can make a shot, intentional missed free throws the whole bit? Have you ever been a part of anything like that?
Probably not. I think it was 14-15, fourth quarter. I got a free throw to end the game. Damn, missed it. You know what I mean? But then I got a chance to do it again. It was a crazy emotional game. The fans were great, and it's good. It's good to get that win, and now going back home. I didn't get a chance to feel that energy in game 1 and 2. I was at the crib with my family. So I'm excited to go back to Phoenix. I ain't been in Phoenix in a while.
Next is Dave McMiniman with ESPN, followed by Gina Mazel.
Yeah, we can get to ask you the typical series preview type of questions because back to this win, one of the biggest of your career comes in this building. Yes, the franchise you played for so long. Was there any extra layer to it?
Not till the job is done. You know, we can talk about all that then, but right now it's just laser focused. 3 wins don't win the series. So right now we did what we came here to do. We wanted to get one of these, and now we got to stay focused and be ready to go back to our crowd. Big shout out to Phoenix fans. Jay, our trainer, showed us the arena. I didn't know they did like a viewing party, you know, so that's super duper dope. And we need one more win.
Next is Gina Mazel with Suns.com, and then will be Kellen Olsen.
I mean, you've been in so many clutch moments in your career, but in this type of game, like how have you learned to calm your mind, and just what was the process to like getting to that point where you are so poised in those moments?
I was mad I missed the middies that could have put us up 5 or 7. But it's so crazy, man. When I went to the free throw line, I thought about my son. You know, I talk to my son all the time about the importance of shooting free throws. And he's really getting into basketball now, and he's training. And he texted me earlier today telling me about his game this morning. And I seriously went to the free throw line. I was like, how the hell I'm gonna tell him to stay poised if I don't do it my damn self? Right? Like, dead serious. So that's what was dope, was after the game, looking up there in the suite and seeing my son excited, you know, so.
Next is Kellen Olsen with Arizona Sports, followed by Chris Haynes.
Hey, Chris, to bounce off Dwayne's question, in the fourth quarter when things were spiraling for you guys, you kept defending on the other end that whole time. Monty talks about poise all the time. Did you feel like that really shined through in those moments when you guys were able to quickly?
Absolutely, man. DA and the way he was in there battling, getting rebounds, and Jay got a big steal down there when I think they hit Zubac, and I was like, dang, he about to get a dunk. And then the ball just magically appeared, you know. So that's trust. That's it's a lot, man. It's been an emotional year for everybody, not just our team, but especially our team, guys, family things and all this. So it's definitely been a process, and we having fun.
Next is Chris Haynes with Turner, followed by Melissa Rowland.
Chris, you said the job isn't done. A few years ago, you've been in this position where you were one win away from getting to the finals. With that in your background, is there a new perspective that you have since then with this new opportunity that you have?
Everything happens for a reason. You know, everything happens for a reason. Don't dwell on things. You always remember. You know, but I'm here now, excited about this opportunity, and all I can worry about right now is Game 5.
Next is Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports, and then Mark Medina.
Hey, Chris, you alluded to this earlier, but how much of a difference did DA's defensive presence make for you guys tonight?
Man, shoot around this morning, DA told me, he said, "See, you stay out there, I got all this in there, in here." You know, and I said, "All right, big fella, you got it. You got it." And to see his growth, man, I get goosebumps. Seriously, man. We done had some heated conversations this season, especially earlier in the season. But man, I genuinely love him. You know what I'm saying? The person that he is, and to see everything that's coming to him, national audience getting to see who he is and why he was the #1 pick. I couldn't be happier for him.
Final two questions are Mark Medina with USA Today and Dan Woike.
Hey, Chris, good to see you. On that note about DeAndre, before you joined the Suns, what were your impressions of his game from afar? And you mentioned that he had conversations with us.
Might be dating myself a little bit, but I coached against DA. Yeah, my AAU team, Team CP3. I coached against DA in the EYBL. You know what I mean? So that was sort of my experience. You know, we smacked him one time, and then one time he got at us. But you know, didn't know much about him, and I just had to try to build a relationship with him. And to see where we are now, like I said, it's been a journey, and I'm happy we all doing this together.
Final question is Dan Woike with the LA Times.
Chris, it's okay. You've seen some pretty weird stuff in the playoffs. What has it been like watching your team handle the .9 game with the lob, watching you guys kind of navigate a pretty crazy fourth quarter right now? And what does it say about a team that's never even been in this position?
Says a lot, man. Says a lot. Still, like I said, we got a ways to go, but everybody always talks about, oh, it's a young team. It's a young team. I think back to when I first got into the playoffs, sometimes it's best like that because you just hooping. You know what I mean? You ain't thinking about all this and that. And we got a young team, but with some old souls, especially Book. He like an old man. He the oldest 24-year-old I ever met in my life. You know what I mean? You see him with his old schools and all that. The biggest thing, he know the game. He know the game. He watch every game every night just like me. And so, you know, it's cool to be on this journey with Mikal Bridges, all this campaign who've been unbelievable. We just next man up type of team.
Hi, Mikal. Thanks for joining us. We are going to start with Cody Cunningham from Suns.com.
Hey, Mikal. In a tough, grinded out final quarter like that last one, just beyond the physical fatigue, just what did it take to stay mentally strong out there to close this one out tonight?
It took a lot, but that's what we built for. That's who we are. We're mentally tough, and we're just gonna keep fighting to the end. And if our offensive end not going, we're gonna get stops and keep defending for each other.
And DeAndre was huge for you guys tonight, with 19 points, 22 rebounds, 4 blocks. But even beyond the stat sheet, just how critical were, his screens, his box outs, and just what did you think of his overall performance tonight?
Unbelievable. I mean, he was doing everything. Guard, pick and roll, scoring, rebounding, switching, guarding the guard on the island, guarding that, blocking shots. He's doing everything for us, man. And that's who DA is. He's a force, and we're gonna keep needing that, and definitely need that next game.
Next up is Mark Schwartz from ESPN, followed by Nicole Gerina.
Mikal, a couple of minutes ago, Chris was on the broadcast and said, man, I couldn't hit a damn shot. He was 6 for 22 and he was frustrated with himself. But What was it about Chris Paul being in that role, having the ball in his hands at the end of that game, that allowed you guys to win it, no matter how many shots he was missing?
Like you said, he's Chris Paul, man. He's done it throughout his whole life. He's done it this year. He's done it in the playoffs. So, we were fine. We just, if he keep missing, he's getting good shots. It's going to go down one time for sure, and it's going to hurt the other team. So let him keep playing and him, being who he is and leading us to victory.
What kind of trust would you say everyone has in his ability, even when he's not at his best, to kind of carry you through a tough grind out game like that?
Yeah, we're all confident. We know if he think he wasn't, capable of it, he wouldn't keep trying to score. So we know C, and we know how talented he is and clutch he is. So we're gonna let him be and let him take his victory like he did tonight.
Next up is Nicole Gerina from Puerto Rico, followed by Andre Lopez.
Hi, congrats for the win.
How you doing?
How much the defense mentality was key tonight, especially at the 4?
It was key. Like you said, we wasn't making shots, and every time we thought we was going to make a run offensively, we kept missing, and we just knew, all right, keep getting stops as well. Like if we're not scoring, they're not going to score. So we're just doing a great job with that, and just playing team ball.
Next up is Andres Lopez with Cultura Sports.
Thank you. Mikal, with such an important game coming up, the potential to close out the series, you guys seem to have it on lockdown, that ability to just turn on almost on command and just catch fire. What is the recipe for that, and how are you helping to catalyze that reaction to just turn on when you guys need it most?
We just playing hard. That's all. We just playing our way. Obviously, Clippers is a great team. They wouldn't be here, so we're just not going to score every time, and not going to stop them every single time. So just staying poised and keep running our offense, keep defending our way, and then it will just come to us. We don't let it get to us mentally, and we just keep trying to fight and score and get stops.
All right, Book, thank you for joining. We're going to start with Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic.
What's up, Book? The nose doesn't look that bad, man. It's coming along, man.
Appreciate that.
No doubt, dude. Hey, listen, man, I want to know what you learned about your teammates during that cold stretch, man. It was like 5 minutes. You couldn't get a bucket. You were stuck on 71. What did you learn about your teammates during that time?
Well, we've been preaching all year. We have to rely on our defense. So, I think both teams are stuck at 70 and 71 for, a few minutes. I think we got a good couple opportunities. A lot of them rimmed in and rimmed out. But, you just get back and you play defense. You don't let your offense affect the way, that you guard. So that's what we relied on all night. I think it was an ugly game from beginning to end, honestly, if you're talking from a scoring aspect. But, we dug in and got stops, and it's the playoffs. Any way you can come out with one.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, and then Rachel Nichols.
Hey, Devin, when did you decide you were going to ditch the mask?
I think I took it off after I missed the layup. I said after the game, if I get hit again, which you don't realize how much you get hit in the face until you take it off, that, I can get surgery after the season. And, I'm not blaming anything on the mask, but, I haven't played basketball with the mask ever in my life. So, it takes some getting used to. And, at that point in that time, I didn't want it.
Lastly, I just wanted to ask you, sitting there watching the end of that game, what would that had to be tough?
Yeah, tough, because I know I let my team down in some aspects of grabbing some pretty cheap fouls early in the game. And, you're not thinking about that early in the game, how it can affect the end. So, it's a learning lesson for me. And it's easier to learn after a win. So, go back, watch some film, and just clean up the little mistakes because, if you want to win big, how we're trying to, I got to be out there for my team.
Next is Rachel Nichols with ESPN, and then Dave McMiniman.
Chris Paul, as you know, just called you the oldest 24-year-old he's ever met. I think that's a compliment. I'm not entirely sure. What do you think it is about you, the way you grew up, the way you have spent these last 6 years in the league that has made you an old soul, as you put it?
I'll say just experiences.
And like you said, it's the way I grew up, having an older brother, wanting to hang out with him and his friends all the time. And then I moved to Mississippi with my dad, and I'm with him and his friends all the time. And those are the environments I've just been in. Those are the gyms I've been in. And, it's always been their own conversation. So even when I spent time with them guys, I listen more than I talk. So I just pick up the way people carry themselves. And, I was around some really good people growing up that, they nurtured me and taught me a lot.
Do you not intend to wear the mask then the rest of the way here?
I don't know. I haven't decided. Like I said, you don't realize how much you get hit in the face till you take it off. So, I might have to go back to it. But, at that time, in that place, I didn't want it on.
Next is Dave McMiniman with ESPN, followed by Gina Mazel.
I'm sure for yourself, being one win away from the big house. Is there any sense as a group for this opportunity for Chris?
Of course.
You verbalize what that means for the group, maybe 60 years in, probably give them this chance.
Yeah, like Chris said, I watch every game, and that was before I was in the NBA. So I've been a fan of his for a long time, and I've learned so much from him this year. And I always talk about off the court how he carries himself, and he's just a true professional, at every level, at all times. So I have a lot of respect for him as a man, not even as a basketball player, and just understanding how bad he wants this and how much time he's put into it. Like you said, 16 years, that's a long time. I think when we made the Western Conference Finals, he was like, I've only been here one time. So we know how bad he wants it. Same with Coach Monty. I get that same feeling from him. And me and DeAndre are sitting here. Mikal is our first time in here. So, it's a little spoiled, but it came with a lot of work. But we definitely have his back.
Next is Gina Mazel with Suns.com, followed by Cameron Cox.
Kind of a broader question for you. You mentioned a couple times during the playoffs how during the summer you tried to simulate what this was going to feel like and try to just mimic or put yourself in the right mindset or visualize. Like that seemed way easier said than done. So like, how did you do that? And how do you feel like it's paying off, now?
Just imagination, while you're out there by yourself, obviously you can't mimic the crowd or everything that's going on, but you like a kid again. You just imagine yourself in those situations. You look up at the shot clock. You pretend it's winding down. So it's just little things that that's how you get the most out of your workouts. So me and my dad talk about all the time is being efficient with your work. And when you're in there taking every rep serious as if it is the playoffs or as it is the finals, you get some really good work in.
Does it feel like it is paying off? You're like, okay, even though I am in this situation for the first time, it feels familiar in a weird way.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's basketball, and I've watched a ton of playoffs, but like I said, you can't mimic the crowd, the atmosphere, can't mimic picking up your sixth foul.
Right.
That's frustrating, but as far as the game, yeah.
Or having to set a screen with a broken nose.
Exactly.
Next up is Cameron Cox with 12 News, followed by Ramona Shelburne.
Hey, Book, you guys are one win away, obviously, from going to play for an NBA title. Do you let your mind go there just yet, or what's the thought process after this one?
We know it's on the table. We know it's there. We can't hide that, but we've kept the same mindset the whole playoffs and the whole regular season. Honestly, is building this thing brick by brick, game by game. So, we're not looking too far ahead or saying who we're going to get in the finals or anything like that. But we definitely understand that if we win the next one, we're headed to the NBA Finals.
Next is Ramona Shelburne with ESPN, followed by Melissa Rowland.
I was talking to Tyson Chandler, and he was saying when you first came in the league, you were always asking him, what's it like in the finals? What's it like getting the conference finals? Do you remember any of the advice he gave you, and sort of does any of it come back around to you?
Oh yeah, I asked Tyson more than that. I asked pretty much anything. I asked him about the Olympics also. I always credit my veterans. People talk about my situation that I was in and how it was unfair to me, but I always see the bright side in it, and being able to develop a relationship with somebody like Tyson that has accomplished everything that I want to do in this league. So I always leaned on him, and I still do. That relationship's here forever. But he's also Chris in that way in their approach. They don't get happy, over the little things. They're in it to win big, and that's the only thing that they want. But he says once you get a taste of it, there's nothing else that you're going to want in the world. So trying to get there.
Next is Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports, followed by Kellen Olsen.
Hey, what was your reaction when you showed up today and you saw DA wearing a shirt emblazoned with a photo of your face after you suffered the broken nose? What did that mean to you?
I honestly didn't see it till I seen her on social media. I was on the same bus with him. I looked at him once I seen it. I was like, oh, that's hard. He was like, I was hiding it from you on the bus. I was sitting like this. So obviously, it's like a replica of Steve's moment. So that means a lot, man. That's my little big brother. We have a relationship that's bigger in basketball, and it's taken time to develop it. And I'm so proud of him and the strides that he's taken. And for him to honor me in that way, that's love for real.
Next up is final three questions. Are going to start with Kellen Olsen with Arizona Sports, and then Jovan Buha.
Hey, Book, to go off Gina's question and like that mental preparation, Monty mentioned earlier in the week, physical preparation for you too, just the setup you have at your house. I imagine this was the stage of the season you were thinking about all the way back last summer when you're just preparing your body. How do you feel physically right now that's deep in your first postseason run?
I feel good, honestly. And, it does. It takes it's time consuming, taking care of your body. I have a whole routine and operation at my house with infrared sauna, light stem bed, so a whole bunch of things. And David Crew on our training staff, we put a lot of time in. I tell him all the time, I talk to you and see you more than I see my mom. So we're always together, and he's on the same page as us. He understands how important our health is, and he puts in the extra time, and he spends a lot of time working on me.
Final two questions are Jovan Buha with The Athletic and Mark Medina.
Hey, Book. DeAndre had 9 offensive rebounds tonight, and Monty was saying that he's one of the best he's ever seen at just going straight up over guys and not fouling. We're back. So I guess how important was that for you guys in a game that you did shoot 36% overall, and then kind of just winning the margins like that with his hustle and effort?
Yeah, that's his nickname, dominating. He definitely earned that tonight. In many ways, and I heard Chris tell you guys about shoot around, just how animated he was, and saying, "This is my paint. I'm protecting it tonight," and doing that on both ends. I know, how it makes the team feel when you give up offensive rebound. I think we gave up 7 in the first quarter. Those aren't easy plays for a team when you guard a whole possession and the team gets a second chance basket, and it's hard to keep him off there. His stature, his build, and just his motor. He works, and I say it all the time. I think he's finally realizing how big and strong and how agile and he can move, and it's paid off big for him and us.
Final question is Mark Medina with USA Today.
Build off of that about DeAndre. Obviously, he had that huge lob the other night, but what other kind of pivot points have you seen in him that showed, hey, he's putting his game to another level?
Oh, dude, everything. He's brought to a whole nother level this playoffs, from angles of screening to understanding the game, not understanding just who his matchup is, who we're guarding, and what they like to do. You're going to see a lot of pick and rolls at him, every single game. That's just the offense of the NBA, and, just understanding tendencies of different players, of not the ones that he's guarding. And, that usually takes a few years. So him to grow up on the fly in this short amount of time is, very impressive. But, you see him putting the time in off the work. I mean, off the floor. I don't know how much basketball he watched prior, but, he comes up to me about every game now, and conversations that we didn't have in the past. So I know he's tuned in. I know, he's focused. And like Chris said earlier, Monty's so detail-oriented that, you have to be like that, and understanding that little plays and understanding what people like to do can, make or break a game. So, that's really impressive with him.
We're gonna get started with Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic.
Yeah, what's up, man? Greg Moore, Arizona Republic. All right, I don't know what's better, man, the game or the shirt, dude. That's tough.
Good shirt. Shirt's way better. Little motivation, to come in. My boy got all banged up, so just send a little message.
Hey, man, what did you learn about yourself and your teammates during that cold stretch in the fourth quarter? I guess it was 71 that you guys were stuck on for a while. You end up winning a tough game. What did you learn about yourself and your teammates?
I'll start off with my teammates. We're really relentless. We have a thing on the team where something called togetherness, and we play as a unit, we come together, and we just fight over adversity and fight over fatigue. Our mental stamina was there today, and we did a good job of that. And me, I learned I could keep going. There's another level. I learned that I think I reached the next level that I really need to be be at this level when it comes to competing.
Next up is Kellen Olsen with Arizona Sports, and then Rachel Nichols.
Hey, DeAndre, I know how much you love watching film. So with like a playoff series where you can kind of dissect things along the way, how much are you enjoying that process of just watching things evolve and making your own adjustments individually like that?
I like it because you can, we see what teams like to do and they see what we like to do. So, just seeing how, they come up with different coverages to encounter our plays and stuff like that. It's really lit. I'll say with me, just knowing teams' tendencies, knowing their bread and butter, just stopping it. I won't say cheat the play, but, just predicting it and, just having a sense of urgency,
Next up is Rachel Nichols with ESPN, followed by Dwayne Rankin.
All right, now that you've got so much playoff experience, what do you know about closeout games?
It's important. Every possession counts. Really from the jump ball, but when it comes down to that and fatigue is kicking in, everything counts. And the whistle might not go your way. 50 balls is really, really precious. And just having that mental stamina again, just really having that mindset that it's not going to go your way and you have to play through it. Calls aren't going to be called, and making free throws at the end. I really give my props up to C because he really got some ice in his veins. You know what I'm saying? He knocked it down and carried his own.
With that sort of that ability to, even if things don't go your way, to keep fighting, is there something in your personal past playing on the court, anything in life that kind of taught you to learn how to do that? Because some people can't do that.
This is basketball. I went through tougher things than this through life. You know what I'm saying? So just, overcoming fatigue, a little adversity. I'm blessed, you know what I'm saying? And to have a team to really keep my head together, and I got their back and they got mine, and the coaching staff where, their sense of urgency was, I really liked it today, and they really locked in on, just making sure they was alert and know what was coming. As you can see at the end of the game, there was a lot of subs. I ain't never been through none of that, but I understand what they were trying to do, and, I really enjoyed all of that.
Are we gonna get both with the shirt with your face?
Hopefully.
Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, followed by Gina Mazel.
DeAndre, you set a career high for rebounds, 22, and 9 on the offensive end. Chris said before that shoot around, you were like, I got to pay tonight. How much was this personal for you to be that way on the glass?
I'm gonna be honest, I got outplayed last game. Zubac did a great job of controlling the glass and being a presence down on both ends of the floor. And, it was up to me to, just get in front of that or compete with that or challenge that. And, I just tried my best. That's about it. Just really tried my best to just be relentless on the glass and really tried to control both ends of the floor with my presence, talking, just my effort, second effort.
At one point, you guys were just, neither team can make a shot. You had tip-ins, but usually you drop it, and those aren't going. At what point were you like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I was like, this is finals basketball right here. This is really what it is. Like, it's a good shot, but your legs ain't there. It look good, but it ain't, you know what I'm saying? And you just got to stick with it. Keep doing what you do and don't really react on things like that. And as a young team, we got some vets on this team to, to really buckle up, and they know this was going to happen. And, just got to keep pushing and keep, chipping down.
Next is Gina Mazel with Suns.com, followed by Dave McMiniman.
Monty and a couple of your teammates have mentioned that they've seen your level of focus just go to a whole new level during the playoffs. How did you go about doing that? Did someone help you get there? Was it just you in your own head? Just like what has allowed you to get to that intense level of focus that's been required?
Honestly, the world having me as a question mark in the playoffs, that got to me a little bit, and I wanted to change that. That's about it. Just a question mark on me, and I just wanted to change that and prove everyone wrong.
What does that require every day?
Consistency, simple, point blank period, consistency. Just approaching the game the right way to start off, and just doing the right things, getting ready for the next game, and making sure you prepare, watching film heavily, knowing what teams are going to throw at us. Asking coaches questions, telling them what I see as well, and just making sure I'm comfortable going into the game.
Next is Dave McMiniman with ESPN, followed by Melissa Rowland.
The possibility of that 16 years.
Oh, I love CP, man. Like I said, that's really the only teammate that really pushed me, like big bro type push, knowing what I got and that I never thought that I had. I think he was the best thing that happened to my career. I can say that every day. Just C is really a dude who pays attention to detail. It's not how he said, it's what he's saying. I think most people don't get. It's just a message for real, and he cares so much. It's actually crazy. I never know a guy could, care so much about basketball and compete at everything. And it's contagious, and that's what it built in me as well. And just having him as a teammate and the experiences that he's went through and teaching me the little things has helped me, man, and it's working. So, what I'm saying, just
you feel like you pay that back. Like another win.
I'm gonna try my best. I know how it is as an older player, and being in the league and stuff like that. And when you have an opportunity like this, you can't take it for granted. And you let us know. And we know the task at hand.
Final two questions are Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports and Ramona Shelburne.
Hey, DA, you just alluded to it, and Chris talked about it earlier, talking about how at the end of the season, you guys had some very heated conversations, talked about just like the deep amount of like love and respect that he has for you. How did you receive those conversations at the beginning, and how's your relationship? How did it evolve into like this mad respect that you guys have for you?
I'll say it started at training camp. First thing he told me was, the thing that's gonna keep me in the league for a long time is angles, and I was like, angles? I was like, I do everything angles, and it's just angles of the screen, angles to get a rebound, be in position for offensive board, and just stuff like today, just using what he said, and him just always keeping that in my head of reps, and me being in the pick and roll with him, it's just, I wouldn't say it's easy, but he make it easy to where either he's open or I'm open, and old board, and we're gonna get something out of it. That's what I've been learning through reps with him.
Final question is Ramona Shelburne with ESPN.
Hey, so I need a little more of the story on the shirt. Like, who made it for you? Where'd you get it? And also, like, there's a fashionable guy, right? So, like, do you think the bloody nose is good for his rep? Like,
I like it. I like it. Now people know Book is tough. Like, they know he was a scorer, but he's legit. Toughness is like, that's D Book, man. A little crazy, but toughness is him. But the shirt was made by Brand C. One of my friends made it for me, and just to really show that we here. We gonna take a punch in the face, but we will throw one back.